yeah, we're friends, but we're also enemies. And it's really strange because they always want to pit women against each other. You don't hear about, like, Penn and Chase hating each other and being jealous and competitive.
They seemed untouchable, Hollywood's golden duo, always ready with a witty social media quip, a red carpet pose, or a playful jab at each other that made fans swoon. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively projected an almost magical aura of good humor, style, and adoration. To many, they were the ultimate model of a power couple, talented, charming, and endlessly entertaining. Yet in recent months, strange whispers have grown into open conversation. Industry watchers, insiders, and even a few bold celebrities have begun to question whether this picture-perfect glow might be carefully choreographed. The spark that ignited it all, a jaw-dropping legal battle involving an actor-director named Justin Baldoni, a $400 million lawsuit, and accusations of harassment that turned the spotlight on whether Ryan and Blake have been pulling the strings behind the scenes. Fans who once saw them as comedic sweethearts are now asking if the jokes mask something more unsettling. Could it be that behind the smiles and Instagram jokes, they've built a brilliant public image that's less about authenticity and more about staying on top no matter the cost? For years, the public side of Ryan and Blake was all about playful banter and curated moments. They joked about each other's birthdays in cheeky social media posts, joked about parenting woes, and strolled across red carpets with a breezy confidence. People adored it, finally. Here was a high-profile celebrity romance that didn't seem plagued by scandal or turbulence. Behind that shine, however, a handful of rumors refused to die down. Observers noticed odd shifts on film projects, directors stepping away, co-stars quietly disappearing from press tours, or entire storylines abruptly changing. Initially, these blips felt inconsequential, a normal part of Hollywood's ever-shifting landscape. But as time went on, some fans couldn't help but wonder if Ryan's comedic persona was overshadowing more complicated dynamics on his sets. Some pointed to Ryan's brand of humor, saying it cut deeper than a harmless joke. While his Deadpool persona was beloved, a few co-stars hinted there might be more friction than fans realized. People started asking, did these abrupt departures and rumor backstage clashes hint at a bigger pattern, one hidden behind the allure of an adorable, fun-loving couple? In the midst of these discussions, Blake mostly stayed clear of controversy. Known for her fashionable presence and ability to captivate on screen, she had rarely stirred up major negative headlines. If anything, her calm, gracious image balanced out Ryan's louder comedic style. The two complemented each other in a way that seemed perfectly orchestrated. Perhaps too perfect, some would later suggest. The question lingered, could two people really maintain such a spotless facade in a town where controversies bubble up almost daily? For a while, the answer seemed to be yes. But rumors have a way of stacking up, even if they're pushed aside at first. When Blake Lively raised allegations of harassment against actor-director Justin Baldoni, it rattled Hollywood. This was Blake Lively, after all, an actress who prided herself on supporting progressive causes, and rarely seemed to stir up trouble in her professional life. Suddenly, the star of Gossip Girl and numerous Hollywood films was pointing a finger at a respected director, claiming he had crossed serious boundaries. At first, sympathy poured in. Blake's fans rallied, trusting that her complaint had merit. But then, in an unexpected twist, Justin Baldoni fired back with a lawsuit worth a staggering $400 million. He claimed defamation, sabotage, and even suggested that Ryan and Blake tried to seize control of the entire project they were working on. It ends with us. This countersuit jolted observers. A legal battle of that magnitude signaled that Baldoni believed he had solid evidence, or at least a very strong conviction, that he was the one wronged. Onlookers were stunned. Suddenly, the conversation flipped. Was there a chance Blake's harassment claims weren't the whole story? Had Ryan, often pegged as the wisecracking hero on screen, orchestrated a strategic move off-screen to protect his wife's image, or even manipulate the situation for their benefit? Speculation snowballed. Then, more voices chimed in, some anonymously. Insiders hinted that Ryan and Blake often played nice in public while maneuvering aggressively behind the scenes. A few even accused the couple of creating narratives that showcased them as the victims, ensuring the public viewed them in the best possible light. In an industry where reputation is currency, these were startling claims. By now, fans' heads were spinning. The couple's squeaky clean facade had taken its first major hit, and the lawsuit from Justin Baldoni threatened to expose more than just creative differences. If the allegations of manipulation and defamation held any weight, It could unravel the entire image Ryan and Blake worked so hard to cultivate. Long before the Baldoni lawsuit, certain stories about Ryan Reynolds' working relationships were whispered through Hollywood's grapevine. Some regarded him as a comedic genius with an enviable ability to improvise and connect with fans. Others hinted at a different side, where maintaining control and calling the shots took precedence over collaboration. One of the earliest visible cracks was when Tim Miller, the director of the wildly successful first Deadpool film, stepped away before the sequel. On the surface, the parting was framed as a standard creative differences scenario. Yet rumors suggested Tim felt pushed out by Ryan's desire to shape the franchise's direction without interference. For fans, it was surprising. If a movie was so successful, why risk tinkering with the team behind it? Some suspected Ryan wanted more say, possibly a lot more. Not long after, T.J. Miller, who had appeared in the Deadpool films as the wisecracking sidekick, announced he wouldn't return for the third installment, no matter how much money he was offered. He went on to describe tensions on set, implying Ryan deliberately tried to humiliate him during filming. According to TJ, this wasn't a playful gag. It was personal, and it stung enough that he'd never work with Reynolds again. Actress Morena Baccarin, once a central figure as Deadpool's love interest, saw her role drastically reduced in the second film and was oddly absent from promotional events. Fans wondered why she was missing from the spotlight. Speculation arose that she and Ryan had clashed over something beyond normal production hiccups. The fact that her previously significant role was pared down fueled talk that Reynolds, now an executive producer, had the power to marginalize co-stars he didn't get along with. Whether these claims reflect a controlling streak or are just typical Hollywood drama remains up for debate. Yet in the context of Justin Baldoni's accusations, it adds depth to the conversation. Perhaps Ryan's comedic persona hides a drive for top-down authority in his projects. Before Blake Lively, there was Scarlett Johansson. When Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett tied the knot, fans thought it was a marriage made in Hollywood heaven. Two rising superstars uniting as a power couple. That glow faded quickly. Their marriage ended in a public divorce, with rumors swirling about jealousy, control issues, and resentment over each other's success. Scarlett would later hint that the union had been volatile and plagued by tension. She described feeling as though her own growing career caused friction. While she never outright pinned blame on Ryan, her comments about a partner's insecurity cast a shadow. As she landed major Marvel roles, speculation grew that Ryan wasn't thrilled about seeing her ascend to the A-list so rapidly. Over time, new tidbits emerged, suggesting Ryan might have connected with Blake Lively while still married to Scarlett. The timeline was hazy, but reports claimed his on-set chemistry with Blake during Green Lantern went beyond simple co-star camaraderie. If Ryan was already eyeing a new relationship, that could explain why his marriage to Scarlett unraveled sooner than people expected. Scarlett's statements, though measured, painted a portrait of a dynamic in which her then-husband's self-esteem was rattled by her thriving career. She implied that setting healthy boundaries was something she only learned afterward. For fans, these hints raised the question: if Ryan was indeed overshadowed by Scarlett's success, did Finding Blake, a strong star in her own right but presumably more supportive of his goals, give him the upper hand he'd wanted? Not everyone believed those rumors. Some still considered Scarlett responsible for the split, insisting that her star power overshadowed Ryan, making the marriage an inevitable casualty of Hollywood's unpredictable spotlight. But once the Baldoni lawsuit broke, the conversation around Ryan's controlling tendencies gained fresh traction, and Scarlett's earlier words started sounding more relevant than ever. If only one or two individuals had gripes with Ryan and Blake, it might be easier to dismiss. But the list of names who've critiqued Ryan's work ethic, or the couple's perceived manipulations, keeps growing. In an industry that often encourages silence to avoid lawsuits or burn bridges, it's telling when multiple figures start speaking out, even indirectly. Quentin Tarantino, revered for his high art approach to filmmaking, made it clear he holds little regard for Ryan's projects. Though he never singled out Reynolds by name in a scathing commentary, Tarantino's remarks about forgettable blockbusters and shallow comedic ventures pointed vaguely in Ryan's direction. Meanwhile, Chris Columbus, the mastermind behind classics like Home Alone, erupted when he heard about Ryan's rumored plan to create a cannabis-infused Home Alone spin-off. Columbus saw it as a cheap cash grab that disrespected cinematic legacy. Though these might seem like random artistic differences, they underscore a broader perception that Ryan prioritizes profit and buzz over substance. Gerard Butler, known for gritty action roles, also bristled at comparisons between his film gamer and Ryan's free guy. His dismissive comment about not even bothering to watch Ryan's movies hinted at a deeper disdain, perhaps a reflection of how many traditional actors view pop culture phenomena that revolve around heavy marketing and comedic flair. While none of these directors or actors labeled Ryan a manipulator outright, their collective eye-rolling at his career choices painted a picture. Ryan might be beloved by mainstream audiences, but he's not exactly winning over the industry's more discerning elites. The question becomes whether this widespread coolness toward him stems solely from creative disagreements, or whether there's a deeper undercurrent of personal dislike. Blake, for her part, seldom stirred such outspoken critiques from high-profile names until the Baldoni case. Now, she stands accused of weaponizing serious claims to grab control. It's a dramatic shift from her previously glowing reputation, and Hollywood is taking note. The tension swirling around Ryan and Blake isn't just about one lawsuit or a few disgruntled colleagues. It's about the intricate machinery that keeps Hollywood stars on pedestal. Reputation is everything, and controlling the narrative can make or break a career. For a long time, Ryan and Blake seemed to excel at this. They were the red carpet darlings who teased each other on Instagram, the comedic couple who always found a way to make fans laugh. In a sea of messy celebrity breakups, they remained stable, turning themselves into the blueprint for a healthy Hollywood marriage. This stability was a selling point for studios, which saw them as reliable box office draws with minimal baggage. But the cracks are now too big to ignore. Gossip networks and social media platforms are re-evaluating old interviews. Screenshots of Ryan's banter with co-stars are recirculating with new context. Was he playful or subtly mocking? Moments when Blake suddenly pivoted away from certain projects are being re-examined. Was it a scheduling conflict or a behind-the-scenes power play? Some fans have become amateur detectives, dissecting every red carpet photo where another celebrity looks uncomfortable near Ryan or appears to avoid eye contact with Blake. Others remain loyal, insisting these controversies are fabricated by jealous rivals or tabloids hungry for clicks. There are those who argue that in an industry as competitive as film and television, you have to play hardball sometimes, and that might be all Ryan and Blake are doing. Yet the lawsuit stands as the most tangible piece of evidence that something isn't right. Court cases are messy, drawn out, and often reveal private communications, text messages, and emails that celebrities would prefer remain hidden. If Justin Baldoni truly has the receipts to back up his claims, Ryan and Blake could be forced into damage control on a scale they've never faced before. As the scandal widens, the real question is whether Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively can survive this wave of scrutiny without their carefully curated image collapsing. Hollywood history is filled with stars who managed to bounce back after major controversies, but it's also littered with careers that never recovered once dark secrets saw the light of day. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit isn't disappearing anytime soon. Legal experts predict it could drag on, potentially forcing all parties to disclose evidence that could make or break their reputations. If Blake's accusations against Justin prove baseless, or worse, deliberately fabricated, the backlash will be intense. Meanwhile, if Justin can't provide solid proof, his own career could take a serious hit. Other celebrities and industry figures remain on the sidelines, quietly watching. Some may step forward with their own experiences, either to defend Ryan and Blake or to corroborate the negative chatter. Court testimonies, leaked documents, or insider accounts might blow the lid off any illusions about how Ryan and Blake operate behind the scenes. Hollywood can be unforgiving when a star's illusions are shattered. Fans, for their part, are deeply divided. Devotees cling to the couple's social media presence, where they still trade playful remarks and post updates about their family life. Skeptics dig up every suspicious anecdote and rumored conflict, reshaping the narrative that once cast Ryan and Blake as the comedic lovebirds of Tinseltown. Media outlets chase the story incessantly, knowing the public has an appetite for updates, twists, and potential revelations. Whether Ryan and Blake emerge from this as chastened celebrities who've learned a lesson, or as a top-tier power couple who managed to quell the storm, only time will tell. Yet even if they manage to maintain a semblance of their old image, the seeds of doubt have been planted. People may never view them with the same unquestioning admiration again. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively once stood as a beacon of envy in Hollywood, a seemingly unshakable marriage, a string of blockbuster successes, and a brand built on wit, charm, and relatability. But the more people peek behind the curtain, the more they question how genuine that image ever was. From tensions on movie sets to quiet feuds with co-stars, from rumored jealousy in a previous marriage to allegations of spinning serious harassment claims for personal gain, the pattern suggests a deliberate strategy to stay on top. If true, it's a strategy that might finally be catching up with them. The Baldoni lawsuit has become a lightning rod for everything swirling around the couple. It forces fans and industry insiders to pick sides, or at least wonder if that perfect couple narrative was meticulously scripted. As more details unfold, Ryan and Blake's future may hinge on whether they can convincingly prove that none of these accusations hold water, or pivot fast enough to salvage their reputation before the final gavel drops. Some watchers say they've seen enough, their illusion shattered, their respect diminished. Others remain loyal, believing that in a cutthroat industry, the couple's only crime is playing the same Hollywood game everyone else does. Whichever perspective prevails, there's no denying that the mythic glow around Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively is a little dimmer now, under the relentless glare of speculation and scandal. In a place where image is currency, even the brightest stars can lose their sparkle overnight. And for Ryan and Blake, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will they weather this storm intact? Or will the facade crack beyond repair? Right now, all eyes are on them, waiting, wondering, and hungry for the next big revelation.